Well. Shocking, surprising news coming out of the Toon. Coming out of Newcastle United Football Club. You know how it is. It's weather's not the best, is it? I'll sit doing for this one. I want to do it here. Bit of the gym, bit of the swim, bit of tennis. And this news comes out. Breaking news in the past half an hour or so. Paul Mitchell leaving Newcastle United at the end of June. It's never straightforward at the Toon, is it? It's never normal. What a club, man. On the eve of such a huge important transfer window, we get this groundbreaking news that our sporting director is leaving after doing out. What a year he's had. What a salary he's picked up. Do you know what I mean? He's had more trophies than signings. My goodness. I'll put it on the screen here now, what he said, and none of it makes any sense. You want to kind of let this breathe a little bit and let more come out, but the club have released a statement now. Journalists have released it. It's on Sky Sports News in there. Everything. So it seems like this is all we're going to get. And what essentially you read on your screen there now is that Mitchell's leaving because his pal's leaving. Because Darren Eales is leaving. Obviously, you know, Darren's in terms of his health and everything. It came out a while ago about his cancer and stuff. So obviously we send our best wishes to Darren, and he's going to leave soon. Club's still trying to appoint a new person to take over his role there. So... but Mitchell's kind of just saying, Darren's leaving, so I think it's just a good time for me to leave. None of that makes any sense. And I tell you what, coincidence that Eddie Howe's just had a meeting with PIF, a meeting with our chairman Yasser Al-Ramian, a meeting about transfers coming up in this window after the defeat at Everton, which still got us Champions League football, and then a couple of days later, Mitchell announces he's leaving. I mean, the only thing I can point towards is obviously that it is a fallout. We knew that last summer there was loads of rumours going around that they weren't getting along, that there was disagreements, that it was a power struggle and all that. We had the Adidas headquarters in Germany and we didn't end up signing anyone. There's clearly still tension there. It looked like they resolved it, but in terms of going forward, it's prominent and obvious. Starting to rain, brilliant. It's raining in the Toon. It's raining mad stories. Do you know what I mean? It's never normal at Newcastle, is it? Honestly, bring back Dan Ashworth. Is Mitchell going to go to Man United? We should have got some compensation off Man United. But listen, in all seriousness, it's obviously clear that, to me anyways, my guess is that it's just, again, a disagreement going at the transfer window. Eddie Howe and Paul Mitchell obviously have different targets, different ideas, different directions that they want to take the club in. That's got to be it. You know what I mean? That really has to be. It's got to be the only reason why he's left now. On the verge of a big transfer window, on the verge of a summer window where we're finally going to sign players. It's how we went to that meeting with the Saudis and being like, I want to sign this, but Mitchell wants to sign this, and I think it's a good idea, we'll put money there, but he's on about doing this. We can only just guess, but the statement that's came out is just bizarre, like, I will wish him the best, Paul Mitchell, see you later, that usual generic stuff, and then you've got Mitchell saying, the timing's right for me to leave and everything. How's the timing right? He's been here less than a year and done now. You know, he hasn't brought anyone through the door. You think, right, we're going to see the fruits of his labour now. You're going to get his book of, the next best talents and all that. He had a great resume, to be fair, coming to Newcastle, a great CV of talents he spotted when he was at Monaco, when he was at Southampton, when he was at Tottenham, all the rest of it. And we haven't seen any of that. We haven't seen any of it. So it just makes no sense. But the sense that you could look at is that it looks like Newcastle are probably going to go down the technical director route instead of a sporting director. So obviously there's been rumours in the last week that we are going to appoint a technical director. We're still waiting to replace Darren Eales, as I've just mentioned before. So we're going to kind of give them more of a structural role, a behind the scenes backroom office type of role, and then Eddie Howe and his team are just going to have reign of transfers. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Eddie Howe being in control of transfers. He did it 2 years ago. When we did spend money 2 years ago, brought in Tonali, brought in Lewis Hall, brought in Tino Livramento. Doing alright, aren't they? Harvey Barnes. So Eddie Howe's record of transfers to Newcastle is actually unreal. To be fair, when he was at Bournemouth, there was a lot of worry that he could come to Newcastle and waste the PIF's money. He sent some big money signs at Bournemouth that didn't quite work out. But at Newcastle, pretty much every one of them's been bang on. You know what I mean? Pretty much every one of them's been solid. I tell you what, actually, credit to Mitchell if he was in control of January and what happened there in the outgoings and fair play. Incomings we're seeing now. But outgoings, getting that money for Lloyd Kelly, getting the fee for Almiron, all that, it's pretty decent. So the credit's there, maybe, but in terms of signings, out, absolutely no. Did Asula come in then? But obviously that was Tyndall's link with Bournemouth and everything. So Sheffield, sorry. So I don't know. It's just absolutely mental, this, man. It's just, honestly, a day after the bank holiday. I just dropped the Steve Watson podcast, by the way, so make sure you have a look at that. As soon as I clicked that to go live and go public, the Mitchell news comes out, and I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna have to jump on. I'm gonna have to do a video on this now as well. But yeah, we're always gonna cover the breaking news as it happens, and this is a big one considering how big this transfer window is gonna be this summer. Meant to be a big one, busy one, Delap and Buemo all in talks and all that. But Mitchell leaving. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. It's obviously not working behind the scenes. It's strange timing, but then again, at least it's happening now when the window hasn't opened yet, just about, but on the verge of it. When you're surely going to have your things planned out, everything in a row, ready to go. Hit the phone, start ringing people, getting the agents in, getting the players in, getting contracts signed, dishing out deals. And he's left. The sporting director's gone. Mitchell's out before he's even been in. He's had a couple of free holidays, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? He was in Germany last year. He's been here, there and everywhere. Oh my God, it's just mad. Absolutely mad. But then again, Dan Ashworth at Man U, he had a falling out with their owner. He wanted to appoint Eddie Howe or Southgate. They went for Amram and they sacked him. He wanted to sign certain players, didn't like it, sacked them. This one's obviously a bit less low key. They're trying to cover it up as like, oh, it's just the timing and this, that, and the other. None of that is logical. Yeah, you come in as a technical director, sporting director, like Mitchell has, and he's sporting director of football. You come in, that's a 3, 4, 5 year plan. He's left after less than a year. Berserk, bizarre, you name it. But I tell you what, I trust Eddie Howe. I trust the club, and I'm looking forward to the summer still. The timing's a shock. It's all a surprise. I literally seen Mitchell the other day at a restaurant in Toon on Saturday. Didn't tell us anything, did he? But I kind of believe it. No one can believe it. It's a huge shock that it came out and Newcastle just released a statement. Huge shock. Strange one. Are we going to replace him? Are we going to just let Eddie be in charge of it? Are we going to get a technical director and go down that route instead? Are we going to bring back Dan Ashworth? That's not going to happen. But honestly, Newcastle United, man, just what a mad old place. What a mad old club. It's always interesting, no matter if it's a takeover, whatever's happening, it's always a bloody soap opera. It's always a drama. But I'm going to be positive. Listen, why not? I'm going to be positive. This video and what a season it's been. We've got Champions League, we've won a cup. Do we really need Paul Mitchell? No. To be honest, no, because yes, credit to some of the outgoings, but in terms of making signings, we haven't seen anything. We haven't seen anything. So what we did see 2 years ago, as I mentioned, was some top signings by Eddie Howe in that first transfer window. Bring back Staveley, bring back War Mandy when she was dishing out the deals to get Gordon and Trippier and Bruno and that. Aye? Get them in. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Anything can happen. Literally, this video could go live, and then an hour later, you just never know what to expect with Newcastle. You just never know what statement could come out, what news could come out. It's always absolutely surreal. But we're all here for it. Never boring, is it? Make sure you subscribe. Never boring. All the breaking news as it happens on the Magpie Channel TV. Hope everyone's having a good day anyways. Like I say, make sure you check out the Watto interview. Brilliant interview with him. Half an hour there in Fleet Street. Talking all things, this season. Bit of his career, the club crest, the stadium move. All sorts with a top ex-pro. So make sure you have a watch and a listen to that one. Thanks for watching this one, everyone. Drop your thoughts below. What you're making of the Mitchell news. What would you do next? Are you happy with Howe being in charge of signings? Would you rather see someone else come in? Do you think it's important that we out of the backroom staff, that you have people in places, or can we just carry on? Or what do you think the Magpies are going to do next? Let us know. Cheers, everyone. See you in a bit.